Jerry, you said he was going to be taking a long way around. Who? Jerry.
Must have. What the Parks are doing? On the way.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Woodsmoke Board meeting of October 8th. This is our budget meeting. At this time, I would like for everybody to stand, take off your hats, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. You may be seated. At this time, I'd like to remind everybody that this is a board meeting and all lot owners are invited to be at the board meeting, but it is for lot owners only. So if you're not a lot owner here, you shouldn't be in this meeting. All right? Jim, you want to do the roll call of officers?
Ryan?
Here.
Carrie?
Here.
Dave?
Here.
Terry?
Here.
Jim?
Hang on, guys, that's for later. On the table, that's later. That's a form.
Go ahead.
Jim is here. Ray?
Here.
Jerry?
Here.
All right.
We got a quorum.
All board members are here. We'll have the reading of the August 13th minutes.
The meeting of August 13th was called to order at 10:05. All board members were present. We approved approved by Carrie Levin, seconded by Dave, was the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Terry did a welcoming for the special assessment. He explained it out. Realty was by Ray Bauer. Rules and regulations by Jim. Security by Jerry. He just talked about speeding in the park. I think Jerry talks about speeding in the park every time. And he'll do it again today.
It's an important one, though.
Carrie Levin was explaining about what happened with the movie, and that that's not going to happen again. We're going to have a backup system on it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie. Special events was recapped by Brian. Maintenance and road was by Brian. No old business, no new business. Motion by Dave, seconded by Jerry. Approved expenditures to repair the pumper truck of $4,666.17. A motion by Jim Reinhardt, seconded by Dave Owens, to adjourn at 11:45.
I'll entertain the motion to accept the minutes as read.
I would make that motion.
All right, so we had the motion made by Dave Owens and seconded by Jerry Parks. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Those minutes will now be recorded into our book. On reports, I want to start out by saying last month we talked about we weren't buying or selling any more lots as the board from Woodsmoke. What I didn't say is the board members knew we had already made arrangements to process 6 lots. So what I was telling you wasn't true to the fact because we already knew we were purchasing them, but you didn't. So I should have made that very clear to you at the time. Those 6 lots were purchased and we've moved forward with them. So I apologize for not letting you know that. I've been told by some lot owners and I just wanted to clear it up. So no more lots are going to be purchased by the board at Woodsmoke. All right? With that being said, we want to move to Dave Owens.
Morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming on a chilly day. Much like Jerry likes to talk about speeding, I do like to talk about electricity because it is such an obvious thing as you cruise through the park at nighttime, you know. Please, you know, the raccoons don't need to see where you're going. The amount of them that are being used on timers is just, my gosh, I think they could get confused and land a plane in our backyard sometime. We need to really think of ways to cut down our electric. Please do that. And I want to give kudos to the board. They've been working very hard on this budget meeting and trying to get things set up as best we can to move forward as a park, unified to protect our park for the years coming. As lot owners, it affects us as much as everybody else. Some people don't always understand that, but it sure does. That was pretty much what I had for today.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Realty report by Ray Bauer.
Good morning, everyone. During the month of September 2023, there were 9 closings at Woodsmoke Ranch. The money paid to the association for that month is $6,734. During 2023, there have been a total of 44 closings with the association, receiving $38,284.80. In addition, there were 3 lots that Woodsmoke Ranch owned that were closed. There were 72 sales in 2022, with the total amount going to Woodsmoke $58,014.56. That completes the report.
Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
Jimmy, treasurer's report.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, I see you already. Okay, guys, on balance on hand as of May 31st of 2023 was $510,478.52. We took in deposits for June, $193,380.88. July, $187,474.11. August, $270,540.42. In September, $137,856.76 for a total deposits of $789,252.17. Expenditures for June, $318,743.77. July, $310,617.30. August was $269,933.17. September, $257,845.20. Total expenditures, $1,157,139.44, leaving us a balance on hand as of September 30th to 2023, $142,591.25. Need a motion to accept.
I accept.
Motion accepted by Kerry Levan and seconded by Brian Kennedy. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Jim. Do you want to report anything on rules and regulations?
Rules and regulations is still ongoing, and it's changing by the day. There's a couple of things we're learning from the attorney, what we have to do, what we need to be putting in. We're trying to get it. Looks like, unfortunately, it won't be until next year because we'll be presenting that at the May meeting. But there's so much that come into play when you're doing the rules and regulations, and what has to be in there and what doesn't have to be in there, what was in there that needs to be taken out because it's against the Illinois Condo Association Act. And this is an ongoing thing. Every time we call our attorney, we're told we've done it wrong so long that we got to fix it.
Yeah.
So, and we're constantly on the phone with our attorney. It's on probably a daily basis, and thank God he doesn't charge us by the minute when we're calling for this stuff, because our attorney fees would be really high. That's it right now.
Thank you, Jim. Security, Jerry Parks.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Just so you know, Halloween is coming up here, okay? I don't know, new people, old people, but here we shut the roads down. This year we're shutting them down for 3 hours. And we're gonna have entrances for lot owners in the back gate, stickers only, guest stickers and lot owner stickers. Front entrance is only gonna be an entrance until 5 o'clock that day. So anybody comes in, and then at 12 o'clock, it is right, Brian, we shut them down?
At least 12 o'clock.
Yeah, at 12 o'clock, the stop sign, there will be barriers there, so anybody who comes in the park after 12 o'clock will have to park by the pond and walk into the park. And this year, we're doing some different things, Brian, will touch more to on it, but we are having everybody trick or treat and meet down this way. And Brian will explain our transportation that we have to use to get back instead of driving that day. We have pickups, but our speeding that weekend, please, put up your little yellow signs or whatever, that helps us out. I love seeing those little yellow signs that slow people down. But we have lots of kids, lots of adults, a lot of elderly people that are walking these roads, and we do not want somebody hurt. Please, remind your guests, get here early that day. It's a madhouse. It's one of our biggest times for the whole year, and it does get really congested. And please, all your passes, have them filled out for your lot owners. Make sure your guests know your lot number. Especially if you leave a pass up there. If they tell us the name, it takes a long time to figure out. You tell us the lot number, we can get through it real quick. But just everybody have a safe weekend and enjoy it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jerry. Recreation, Kerry Levon?
How are you guys? We got the adult Halloween party next weekend. Sounds weird to say, but the year's almost over. And we got the kids trick-or-treating next weekend after that. If you guys never came to the Christmas party in December, I believe it's the first Saturday of the month, and bring your kids, bring your grandkids. It's a really, really fun time. If you never took the option to do it before, come on out. And it should be a really interesting party this year. So, with that being said, it's gonna be an ugly sweater Christmas.
Give you time to.
So give you time to figure things out. So I appreciate it, guys, and we will see you guys next weekend.
Thanks, Kerry. Special events, Brian Kennedy?
We're gonna start with a couple of things, unrelated to special events. We're gonna go over some maintenance things. So, as many of you know, our pool contractor, we had some issues with them this year, which is why we finished pool 2 in-house, along with wrapping up pool 1. Just to let everybody know, we are in litigation with the contractor for breach of contract, and we have filed, he had put a lien against us, but he liened the new purchase property out there. So it's kind of an interesting thing, which is why it didn't affect a lot of us. But we have filed for a demand of removal and notice of the contractor's claim pursuant to section 34 of the Illinois Mechanics Lien Act with our attorney, and we are moving forward with litigation on him. And we find out more, we will update you. But that's where we're at with our contractor. As many of you know, we had employee theft earlier this year. We are meeting with the state's attorney in the upcoming weeks, and we are beginning to make some good progress with that case. There's been a lot of talk in the park about a previous employee. All I can say is you guys need to know that that's not our normal practice, is to try to restrict a former employee from coming into the park. So if we are, it's to protect the association. We can't legally talk about anything because it's a lot of defamation of character and other things. But if we're asking somebody not to come in the park that was a former employee, there's just cause, and it's to protect the association. So with that, I want to touch base on the garbage issues going on lately. So the EPA was called, and they came out for an unannounced site visit. At that time, we were found in violation at our burn pile for burning construction debris. This was the first we had heard of that. That's decks, sheds, anything construction-based, paneling from a remodel trailer. We had always been under the assumption that was okay. You can't burn garbage, plastics, and things like that. Well, that has changed with the EPA. The only items we can burn is grass, leaves, and branches. But before we can even start to take those items again, we have to be re-inspected by the EPA. We're waiting for them to come out. We're at their beck and call. So until they come out, we have a gray dumpster placed up here in the cafe lot, up towards the neighbor's fence. We have one over at PA2. That is for all grass, leaves, and branches. If you guys could please use that to dispose of. We're not allowing dumping in that back area because they need to come out. They're gonna do soil tests. They wanna make sure and I have to show them all the tonnage of everything we hauled away. They wanna make sure we didn't just light a match one day when they weren't looking and burn it all. So,
No garbage in those.
no garbage in
Right.
it, that's just
Garbage
grass,
goes to
leaves,
regular.
and branches. That's for the remainder of this season. Then, the blue dumpsters at the normal locations are for refuse only. Shingles can still be disposed of in those blue dumpsters as long as you've paid the disposal fee up at the office and gotten your, work approval, notice, which is what we used to call the permits for those. Decks, sheds, remodeling your trailers, any construction debris, that has to be hauled away by an independent contractor now, that you, the owner, hires. Currently, Miller Trees has dumpsters that he's able to use. We're looking for other contractors, and if anybody knows anybody or has used anybody, let us know so we can have a list to give to you guys when you're calling and inquiring about this. But we cannot take decks, sheds, anything like that anymore. Remodeling, like your paneling and all that from inside the trailer, that has to be done at your own expense. And the reason for that is somebody throws their deck out in our dumpsters. I mean, that dumpster's full. So,
Immediately.
immediately, yeah.
It doesn't crush.
Moving on then to recreation here, special rec. We have our Halloween Fest coming up, Hollow West Fest. We're doing something a little different because last year, I believe we had an estimated 16,000 people in the park on Halloween. You know the population of Seneca, Marseilles. You know how big we were on Halloween weekend. That said, we don't, if 10% of those people stay for this fest, which I hope more than that stay, we don't have a place to park them. So we're encouraging you to kind of trick or treat your way. That's why we added the extra hour. Trick or treat your way up here. And then we're gonna have both of our hay wagons running out of a parking lot over there by the horseshoe pits. And there's gonna be wagon stops, trolley stops, whatever you wanna call them. Map's been up. We're gonna get it published a little bit bigger and a full-size sheet of paper at the guardhouse starting next weekend with trolley stops throughout the park. Every half hour, those hay rides are gonna be alternating, giving people rides either to or from back up here to the western town. At those trolley stops, we're also gonna have porta-johns, so that during trick-or-treating hours, there's places to go, so you're not running behind the trailer or having to ask a complete stranger to use your bathroom. Just kind of be courteous, and if one happens to end up in the vicinity of your lot, I'll keep an eye on it, because it is Halloween, and teenagers will be teenagers, and just always keep an eye on things. But it's something that was brought to my attention. People said, man, could you unlock the bathrooms at PA2 and well, that's great, but there's a big distance between here and PA2. So I said, well, if we're gonna have a trolley stop, let's designate it with a porta-john. And it's a good visual, and hopefully everybody can use it. And our porta-johns, the band, the inflatable haunted house that we're gonna have out in the parking lot, and most of the decorations that will be coming this week, it was all donated by Miller Trees. Our bank donated prizes for the contest. Ace Hardware donated the decorations, and Bushwhacker, if you're familiar with Bushwhacker, he's our contractor that cuts all of our common ground, and he's flipped the bill for the porta-johns. So this is minus labor costs for our staff to be here to help. This is kind of a no cost to the park event, which is exciting. We're able to cover it all through sponsorship. So, and we're going to continue to do that next year. A couple of them already said, hey, we want to be part of that West Fest. That was really cool. So that's going to help offset costs, and then in turn, hopefully be able to bring you guys bigger, better events and kind of get some of our money back. Because we all know that if it wasn't for Woodsmoke, I don't know how good the businesses in Seneca would be doing. With that, entertainment, we're gonna have a bonfire, ghost stories, the inflatable haunted house, food vendors. We'll be doing a in-house taffy apple bar and more, so make sure your guests arrive early that day. Make sure they understand, no driving during those hours, speed limit. Just, I mean, there's gonna be kids everywhere. If you've never seen a Halloween out here, it's, not only is it fun, but it's, let's say organized chaos.
And something.
Yeah.
Since there's no driving, okay, absolutely during trick or treat hours, there will be citations. But in case of an emergency, call 911 and call our guard check. We have,
In that order.
we have procedures in order to get to you. It's hard for us, but we have a plan, like always. But please, if only a direct emergency, drive on the roads. But we will get to you and we will help you out. But notify 911 first, then the guard check. Appreciate it. Thanks, Brian.
Then, we've been talking about this owner portal that's coming. We were really hoping to have it launched this week. In testing, we found that QuickBooks, the online version, eliminated one thing behind the scenes that we had never really realized and never needed up to this point. It's not implementing with the owner portal correctly. So the two teams, QuickBooks and Condo Control, their computer teams are working together to get this through. We were hoping to have it launched this week. I'm still hopeful for that, but I can't say for sure. It all depends on how quick their teams work together. But they have had contact, they've been keeping us in the loop, and we're gonna find a resolution and get this launched. So with that said, there's consent forms over there. If you haven't given us your email, please give us your email. Because one of the things we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be moving forward with an account management fee. So if you don't have email and we have to put together a paper statement for you, there's going to be a fee for that. That's gonna cover the processing, the paper, the stamp, and the office staff. Because we're going to this owner portal to make this very easy and fluid for everyone. So, I don't know if it's something we wanna vote on now or bring up later.
I'm gonna say later.
Could you repeat that, please? Exactly what's going on with the portal? I don't understand.
So we're going to an owner portal, which is going to give you infinite access to your account for your lot. If you own multiple lots, they'll be linked together. You'll have a username and a password that you create that gets you into your owner portal.
Through the internet.
What's that?
Through the internet.
Through the internet, yeah. Through the internet or your smartphone, or there's an app that you can download. And that's going to allow you to make your payments, view your bills, sign up for pump outs. Eventually, when we get it to the next level, it'll be guest passes. It'll be kind of everything that we do.
We do guest
It'll be-
camping.
What's that?
Can we do guest camping on
Yeah,
it
you'll be
too?
able to book the facilities from guest camping to the pavilions. You'll see what weekends, just like if you've ever gone and tried to book a cabin somewhere, it's not available your weekend, it's grayed out or yellowed out.
I understand now. The only problem I see is a lot of senior citizens
All right,
aren't very good at these things.
Right.
Impatient.
Right, well, keep in mind, if you still have the opportunity to come into the office,
But that's
And-
cost us.
and no, if you give us your email, we can electronically send you all of our notifications, mailing. With this, it's gonna drastically improve our communication to you. So you should want to, as a lot owner, give us an email, because we're gonna be able to email you reminders, hey, there's a board meeting this Sunday. Pool's open, or anything that we kinda use Facebook for right now, we're trying to put a note up to the guardhouse or post on our website, that's all gonna become information sent through the portal. And you as the owner will be able to choose, do you want it as email, do you want it as text, do you want it as both? We'll be able to communicate emergency situations, so if there's a child that's missing, we'll be able to say there's, a little body, you last seen wearing a red t-shirt running towards the 1300s or whatever. That information can go out and get in everybody's hands.
Okay. The only thing I clicked in my head was an extra charge for. Whoa.
The extra charge is to cover, if you don't give us an email address and all that to communicate, send notifications through, and we have to process print it, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it. Just like if you have Verizon or any of your, if you go to an electronic pay, you save I don't know, whatever it is, I don't,
Those accounts, though, if you go electronically,
Right.
they give you AT&T.
so what they're doing is they're trying to,
$5 off your bill then. But this instance says if you don't have it, you're gonna charge me $5.
if you don't
Something
think
like that.
AT&T or Verizon's charging you that $5, that's just integrated into your bill.
Okay, so everybody knows, we're not going away from customer service. The girls will still be in the office, they'll still be manning that desk. They will have, iPads, or whatever pads, I don't know what they are.
Tablets, yeah.
That they will help you take care of all of this. It's not, we're not going away from customer service, we're going away from some bookkeeping of paperwork. That's all we're doing, it's just bringing us into the new, and some of us, including me, I'm only 59, and this is all,
77.
okay, so, I'm 59, and this stuff is all Chinese to me too, so it is what it is, but this is just to bring us in and try to cut down some paperwork. We're not taking questions and answers now, that's at the end of the thing, but this is just to streamline some of the business that we're going through.
And if anybody knows what it's like to mail something nowadays, not half, but a lot of addresses that we have for people, we mail them out, it costs us 57 cents, and they come back to us. Because somebody hasn't given us the update on their address, or the reader from the post office doesn't read the zip code right, because they come back, we call the people up, and it's their exact address, but it didn't go through in the mail. So what we're trying to eliminate is mail. I know it's hard to understand, but it's old-fashioned when you have this many people to try to send mail out to. Get it out on time. Emails go out in 10 minutes. We've got 800 emails out. It takes us a day and a half to print up, stamp everything, mail it out, bring it to the post office, and then have people complain they didn't get it in time. So it's a way to make things better in the park. I know a lot of people still like the mail, but when you're mailing out that many, it's really a pain. So it takes more time, more effort. So what we're trying to do is get away from that. Because if it's taking time and effort, you're all paying for it.
All of us.
We have no other way of getting money besides from what you guys pay. What we all pay, not you guys, we all pay. So that's why we're trying to move into this new system for the park. A lot of condo associations already do it this way. This is not something new to just, it's been out for a long time. It's just coming into us. So that's why we're going forward with this. Okay?
So important to have the accurate email address for the lot owner.
Yeah.
So important.
And the other thing too that it does is, like he was saying, when we don't have the right information, this is your portal. You move, you can update your address. You change an email address, you can change your, it's real time. As soon as it's done, it's done. If you change your email address now, and in 30 seconds we emailed you, it'll go to your new email address. So it allows you, and then as we get going with the stickers and everything else, if you sell your vehicle, you can upload a copy of your registration right to the file. So it kind of gives you guys the control what is in your personal portal.
If you're having a problem with it, talk to your grandchildren.
They know how to do it better than anybody.
They'll help you with it.
But don't give them your password.
But yeah, stop in the office, because they'll be able to help you. We're gonna have tablets, and they said, probably next year, Memorial Day weekend, we'll have like a guest service table, I'm hoping to set up out here, where if you haven't signed up yet, you can come over, get on a tablet, and sign up, and we'll help you get your app, if you wanna have an app on your phone. I have business cards already printed off that kind of tell you what steps to go through in the office, so we can hand those out to people. So this is gonna be, it's a learning curve, but we're here, and we're gonna support everybody through this process. because once you're on it, and not everybody's gonna jump on it right away, but once you're on it and you realize that you can see everything real time and you don't have to call the queue for a pump out. The nice part too is what it'll be is when you submit, we'll do the pump out for instance, you submit a pump out to us, it goes to the guys in the truck. When they do it, they mark it off as completed. However you signed up, email or text, you're gonna get an alert letting you know your lot's been pumped out. So then many of you call the office, do you guys know where I'm at on the list? You'll be able to see that real time, and then you'll know, hey, I just got pumped out, great, I can go out for the weekend.
Also, January 2nd, when it's 10 below zero and people are standing out in front here, waiting for the office to open,
Yeah.
so they can book PA1, PA2,
They
gas
do.
camping, you'll just go on January 1st, you'll just go on there and you could book it. You'll be all set. So you don't have to stand out here in the cold and wait for one of the girls to come in and open up, or Brian or Terry or anybody that's coming, so.
They were camping in tents outside the door.
And also, it's for security too, because when like, say, if somebody's tree falls on a camper, we try to call them, we don't have the proper numbers, then like a lot of owners come out, why didn't you notify us that a tree fell? Well, we tried, but we didn't have the proper information. Same with, your guy falls down right here, 1119, just shooting out a number, falls down, and we look on there to contact that person, say, hey, one of your children fell and scraped their leg, or they fell on a tree. It just, it helps us out tremendously, really easy, and keeps us informed, which is.
And you guys will be able to submit, like if you do see a tree or something happen, you guys will be able to submit that as a contact through that app. And then we'll be able to say, okay, yeah, staff went and looked at it, owner's been notified. It's kind of like. if you use
Speeds up
Facebook or
everything.
Instant messaging or anything like that, that's kind of what it develops. It develops it will open up that door of communication between us and the owners a lot easier.
You sold us other world.
Thank you, all right. You're gonna be the spokesman.
That was, let us finish up with what we're going
Our
ahead
meeting, yeah,
and then,
but it was a good break.
yeah.
Is Brian still going?
So, there is no old business under new business. The employee contribution for the new employees.
I make a motion, as of October 1st of 2023, all new hires will be contributing 25% of the cost of insurance to their payments.
Okay, motion made by Jim and seconded by Jerry. Just on the question, as of now, the employees don't pay any portion of their, health insurance. We can't take that.
They do pay. They pay it's a set dollar amount that they pay.
Right.
That dollar amount is translucent through all levels. So whether you're single, or you're married, or you have a family. Health insurance is a rising cost, and it's a big cost to the park. It's time we start putting some of that cost back on the employees. So we're moving forward with all new hires.
New hires.
New hires will be handled that way. They'll pay 25%. That's something we'll evaluate every year. If we feel that next year costs have gone up and we need to make 30% or whatever, we will continue to adjust that. But this is a step in the right direction to start to do.
Okay, so
What's that?
we're good. All right, we gotta stop the talk until there's a motion made and seconded. I'll call for the vote. All in favor of the
Aye.
motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays?
You got no vote.
So,
Can you do that legally?
all right, so that is passed.
Pardon?
I said that is passed. We're going forward with that, all right?
No, it's legal.
All right. So, with that, Brian, the next thing will be the budget.
Okay. So we've all worked very hard on this budget. The budget in previous years was very interesting to review and try to research and figure out. Still many questions on it, but we were able to streamline it better for this year, and going forward next year, it will be even more detailed as we continue to monitor where costs are being spent and how things are grouped together and break out, so we get true operational costs. The overall budget, we are having to do some larger projects. We have a bridge that is in severe disrepair on a main road that we have to address, and we have to address it now before it becomes a road closure problem, and that will cause problems for a huge portion of the park. So, we've begun to get pricing for there. We kind of have a do not exceed price that we're going off of for budgeting purposes. We're working with other companies. It's going to involve soil samples, engineering fees. It has to be done correctly. So, with that, we're proposing a budget. It's, with including revenue and everything, it will be a $3.6 million budget. That breaks out for categories. If you're a category 1, it will be 1562.46. Category 2, 1736.15. Category 3, 1909.87. Category 4, 2257.26. Category 5, 2604.68. Category 6, 2952.07. That is to get us aligned and be more fiscally responsible. It's going to allow us to drastically increase our capital reserves. Our capital reserves for a park that's been here 40 years in our hands is beyond embarrassing. We have to start building our, guys, if we could please, we have to start replenishing our capitals. We have to start building up our reserves. We should have much more in our reserves than, what is our reserve sitting at roughly?
About 100, I'm just gonna do it off the hip, it's 150,000. About $150,000 in capital reserves. This is 40 years of neglect on multiple levels. That's the property that's out there that is called common ground, that has repaired needed. We have 5 bridges, correct?
Yes.
We have 5 bridges that were created back 40 years ago with scrap metal, concrete, asphalt from local plants that were out here that have now rusted through. And they're
Our old drain pipe, what most people think is a culvert pipe, there were boilers that were deemed out of service and hauled out here to make culverts out of. We found out.
Yes, that came from the shipyards. They were old shipyard stuff that they brought out here, and that's what we use for culverts. That's all rotted away. That's all caving in.
Riding a golden horse.
So,
It's just 40 years, 40 years of aging.
and we need to do some substantial repairs.
We can't do them all at once, but we have to do the worst things first.
Believe me, guys, I don't want this budget. I don't want this budget. I have sleepless nights, thinking about this budget. I have to pay it too. It's not free to me. I get nothing free. It costs me money to come out here.
All of us.
I've been out here this year probably 150 times I drive out here. I have that white truck that's sitting out there that gets probably about 10 miles to the gallon when I come out here. But I love this place, and to fix it, we're gonna have to do something. We gotta do something. And that's the end of it. I can't say anything more.
Our,
Could you repeat the prices again? What was category 4?
Yeah.
Just wait a minute so we can write it down. So
people and write it down.
Right. I assume you're gonna write it down too, right?
Yeah, I am, I'm gonna write it
Yeah, he's pulling out a pen, so whenever you're ready. Okay. Category 1, 1562.46. Category 2, 1736.15. Category 3, 1909.87. Category 4, 2257.26. Category 5, 2604.68. Category 6, 2952.07.
All right, now realize that the reason they're going up so much is because it's been neglected for all these years. These new prices bring us pretty much in line with the other campgrounds around here. And all, you're finally catching up to what the other ones are. We have to do so much. I don't think he gave a price, but we're budgeting $500,000 just to replace one bridge
That's falling in.
that we have no choice on. If this money isn't collected, that we have nothing else to do but close.
So with these new upgrades and levels, there'll be no special assessments later on,
Our-
like
no,
in January and again in the fall?
No, that is why we're looking at doing it this way. There's no more special assessments. We can fix what needs to be fixed and then start to replenish our capital reserves.
So we can do it without special
Things have been
assessments going
severely
forward.
neglected for, I'm gonna say 40 years, 38 years, whatever it is. There's been blind eyes turned to things. There's been things ignored. We all can look around and we know money hasn't been put back into this park. That's not anything new. You can walk the tennis courts. You can look at the paint. You know, the only thing that's been painted is the Pacetti Pavilion. Everything else has been ignored. It's time we start putting money back into this park. We have to get
Pastime.
it. We have to get it. We don't want to be the park next door in Marseilles. And if you haven't driven through it,
It's scary.
and not only that, I called. They're $2,300 a year, plus you pay your electric, and your neighbors can have chicken coops, dog kennels.
It's very true. It's very true.
So,
It's dinner.
Lake Ladonna in Oregon, Illinois, if any of you are familiar with that, they are $2,300 to $2,500 a year, plus electric.
That's the average.
Then they charge you $168 for 33 pool passes, and $300 a year for cleanup fees. Jellystone, and none of these you own your property at. Jellystone is $41.40 to $45.90 a year, and you pay your electric, and they're not seasonal, or they're not year round. They shut their water off, and their guest passes are $5 a day, $10 a night.
Night.
And our average dues, because we're in this category thing, our average dues with taxes figured in, we're about $2,400 now. So when you put it into perspective, if any of you have been to 4-Star or driven through 4-Star, and they're $2,300 a year, if you haven't, take a drive. I would have loved to have had a bus today, taking a field trip with everybody.
Has it been considered with, you said 13,000 guests last year for Halloween, and I'm sure it's gonna be increasing. Has there been a thought about how we're gonna handle and charge this additional money? Because these are people that are coming into our park, using our park, and yet we can't use the pool because it's jam-packed. And have we thought of maybe charging them for extra guests, maybe a lot, so many guests per lot?
Couldn't
We're-
have said it better.
Anything excessive over that?
We're looking at options for the pools.
Okay.
We've
Not
got.
just the pools, everything.
Right, but also
You're right.
That kind of stuff, we're looking at that. I've had several lot owners email me suggestions. All of them were very good. I've shared them with a couple of the board members, and for no other reason than that's gonna be a topic where we're gonna sit down, we need to look at, there's several ways you can attack it. It's something that definitely has to be addressed, because
Can the park
the
handle?
lot owners
But
should.
you are
have-
right.
Can
Yes.
the park handle that many guests? I mean, you have so much security.
Well, I will say that
Because you're telling us last meeting that the police or whatever, the county, they don't consider it as an emergency priority unless there's a fire or something.
You are right.
So let's move on. Let's move on, please.
No, last year we had a significant event during Halloween, and it was a missing child that made it halfway across the park. And we got through the people I personally drove through the masses of people, got the child and got them. So yes, we can, and that was probably our biggest weekend, I think, we've averaged. Because of the weather and everything else, it was just, I mean, if you remember last year, I can only
But
cover
yes,
half
we
of
are
it.
looking into that.
Yeah.
We have to.
Okay, so Brian, thank you for putting together that budget and presenting it. And on that note, I know we usually collect dues on a
Semi-annual.
semi-annual basis. And I'm proposing to set that back a little bit and go on a quarterly basis. I will, that's my proposal.
It'd be January, April, July, and October would be the payment structure.
That's my proposal. I need a second,
Softens
please.
it a little bit.
All right, all right, we have a proposal on, do we have a second?
I second.
Carrie seconded.
Carrie seconded, and so all in favor of going to a quarterly
For this-
payment for dues?
For this next year?
We only do it by year.
Yeah,
Okay.
we go by year.
So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so now it will be a quarterly, which will make it a lot easier. In January, you won't have to come up with as much money. So that's gonna make it easier. It's gonna stretch things out. I think it'll be fine for the park. I don't think it's gonna hurt the park any.
That's for 2024.
Jim, what's the
Yes.
requirement for the free pass?
I can't hear you.
The requirement for the free pass, the free visitor's pass if you're going to quarterly.
It still has to be paid in January in full, like every other year. If you want the free pass,
Yes.
it has to be paid in full. The whole year has to be paid in January.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can move on to questions now.
That's a special thing that's only given out for that reason.
Any other,
Any other questions?
no, not
All
question,
right.
business.
Oh, no, this is, we're in question.
We're at the point of
Yeah,
question.
Okay, now we can.
yeah, all right. All right, so,
Budget question.
the budget will be, like I said, going out by email and by mail. So those of you that haven't signed up for the email, you will be getting it over the next week or two. And then
You know
at
how the mail is.
our November 5th meeting, we will vote on the budget. All right? So
Does
when I
everybody
say
understand
we, I
that?
mean the board.
So whoever signed up for emails, that'll go out tomorrow, or no, Monday. Yeah, tomorrow's Monday.
Yeah.
And then we will be postmarking all of the other ones that are still on snail mail, will be postmarked tomorrow. Okay? You'll have the tentative budget.
All right, any other questions? Chris? I'm sorry, all right, one person talk, please.
Chris Frash, 1397.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, that's right. You gotta close the regular meeting before you go to.
Do we close it?
You gonna adjourn?
It does-
Well, we're not adjourning because we're going into private session after this,
Yes, we have
so,
private session.
so we don't adjourn it until we go, after we come out of private session.
You're opening it to questions.
Right,
Yes.
yes, that's what I said, questions.
By Chris is standing.
All right, I got a couple of questions. One of them is on the garbage, I guess would be for Brian. You know, I replaced two deck boards that twisted, okay? It doesn't, I'm not gonna go and get a dumpster for two deck boards. Can we throw, like, minimal, stuff like that, or you change out a stove? I heard Aaron's gonna put a scrap for that.
Yeah, we're working on getting a scrap dumpster brought up with
Okay.
lower sides.
Oh, what happens if I change out just a vanity in the bathroom? I'm not gonna get a dumpster for a vanity in the bathroom. I mean, is there gonna be?
Take it home. For all these years, people have been bringing their garbage here. Go the other direction.
Well,
Facts.
I understand where you guys are going from there.
The problem with that question is, you say two deck boards, this guy says, oh, I only got 6 boards, and then this guy says, well, I got a whole deck. So, no.
Correct.
And I only say that because,
Where do you stop?
where do you stop?
You can't.
You draw the
Yes,
line.
yes.
And-
We're looking to keep the decks, the stoops, the sheds out of the dumpster.
Well, I understand a complete remodel, and I thought I remember reading somewhere in our old bylaws and rules that any remodeling or construction debris was supposed to be moved. You know, but, I mean, I changed the toilet out too, and
Right.
I'm not gonna pay $150 to move the toilet, I'll break it up into little tiny pieces and
Let's
put
put
it
it
back.
this, don't leave it on the ground.
That was my next question I'm going to.
Don't leave it on the ground.
The garbage cans are so high, okay? It's very, I saw a picture on Facebook about the grill that would be left on the ground.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there's no way they're gonna get it into the dumpster.
Well, the low-sided dumpster for scrap that we're probably gonna put up by DA2 as well.
Okay.
We just don't
So
want.
that's gonna be yo so high, so you.
Yeah, so that they can flip it over. We may even, open the back door and leave it chain
Well,
open so
yeah,
people can flip their grill up and then we can go up and with the back.
They do that a lot,
Yeah.
that was
And
my
the reason
concern.
for all this, keep in mind right now, the EPA is watching us.
So I
They don't want
understand.
anything on the ground. This isn't us.
Right.
So if they show up right now for an inspection and there's crap laying all over.
The toilet laying on the ground.
This is what we're talking about and we're gonna get fined. So one of the things that the EPA said was, if you can show me who did this, we don't go after Woodsmoke. We'll go after Chris Frosch, because he did it. That's,
I got you.
so we're trying to keep, once they come back out and they re-inspect, there's gonna be more changes, but they're gonna be better for the owners. Right now, we have to run this as a very tight ship.
Oh, I agree, and I always said, there's a lot of people do remodeling, and they fill up our dumpsters.
Yes.
But I had, the guy that does the screen rooms, I won't use any names, but he's told me he doesn't put any debris in there.
They haul
He
them.
takes it all away.
Yeah.
So, but the guy that's gonna do their own screen room, he should have to haul it away.
Actually, if you're hiring a contractor to do the work, part of that bid should be that they haul it off Woodsmoke property.
But that should make it perfectly clear with everybody that does anything in the park, even the roofers.
Yep.
If you got a roofer coming in, he should haul it away, even though you pay a permit fee, he's gonna dump a whole lot of other stuff in there.
And you don't know, did he come in with half a dump truck from a job outside the park?
Exactly.
There's a lot, and we've really cracked down this year, but there's a lot of people who actually haul their garbage in. And then we follow them now.
It is.
Our policy is like, hey, a white Ford just came in and we follow them, and I stop them at the dumpster.
Next is still a question for you, because you handled, put together the budget. In future large projects, I understand what you're talking about with that bridge is, that you're talking about by my house.
Yeah.
And since I've been in 2016, I've watched it drop a foot. So I know it's a dangerous bridge, and we don't really have any choice but to get it fixed.
We don't.
Down the road, on large projects, like you're replacing 2 or 3 bridges or something like that, I wish the board would consider taking a loan out and then having the assessments for the life of the loan. You call it a special assessment, you got $1 million worth of stuff going on, so you got $1 million loan, and it follows the lot, not the owner. So if you sell in between, it's still following, the owner of the lot, so.
The ideal situation would be to have your capital reserve
But
built up.
it's gonna take us many years
So,
to
yes,
get it
yeah.
back.
But right now, unfortunately, we have to.
I have a friend that has a place in Plymouth, and that's a yogi, they
Yeah.
own the park, they're redoing all their electric,
Yeah.
and it's over 3 years, they have 3 years to pay that special assessment.
Yeah.
So, cause it was $1.5 million or $2 million.
Right.
So, it's large.
And that's where your way is good. But a lot of these bridges aren't nowhere near that or anything, so we'd like to, by law.
We know, eventually, our electric, all that's gonna have to be updated.
Our infrastructure is
We need to
way
know our
past.
capital
Right.
to spend that money. It's either there or there, so we can.
I was just bringing that up here to make
Yeah.
sure that we're heading in that direction, because you can't have a huge increase every year.
No, this is, including the money in the bridge, which the following year would be used. It'd be nice to throw that $500,000 right into capitals. But this is a market adjustment to get us where we need.
Gotcha.
For so many years,
So
the
technically,
$25.
if we don't have a big project next year, our dues could go back down because we don't have
No.
anything.
No,
No.
we need to replenish our capitals.
I understand that.
We need to replenish our capitals.
Okay, let's go. Next.
So I just wanted to ask.
Who are you?
At the beginning-
Name and lot number,
Sorry,
please.
11:30, Sherry Jenna.
Hey, we can't hear you.
Okay. All right, so in the beginning of the meeting, you talked about 6 lots that were purchased by Woodsmoke. What was the cost of that?
The cost of that was $5,000 a lot, so it was 30,000. And 3 of those have already been sold and brought in 45,000.
Perfect.
So we recoup more.
Okay, so, Dave, you had mentioned, the electric usage. What's the board's stance on electric vehicle charging? Because we've been in the park and people have their EVs plugged into an extension cord running from their sheds. What's our situation with that?
I've seen that. I don't believe we've made an actual policy on that. Being involved in EVs, when you plug it into that type of outlet, it's a 110 outlet. It's the same as running pretty much a fan or lights off of that outlet.
Right.
Each lot is designated to have either 30 or 50 amps depending on their lot. What you do with it, in my humble opinion, without a pressing vote being set on it, is your choice. If you want to unplug your camper to plug in your car and nothing else, that is your choice. You exceed your usage, that's a different story altogether.
Right, okay.
On that.
I'll give you a quick answer on that, okay?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Under state of Illinois law,
Okay,
because we're going green,
you're right.
under state of Illinois law, we cannot discriminate against plugging in a car. That's not my rule. I didn't vote on it. I'm a contractor, and you can't even build a house in the state of Illinois now without a charging station, which is gonna increase the building of homes by anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a home now,
Absolutely.
okay?
I mean, we're already on a strained.
We're also, so you answer that one too, we are also looking with our electrical company about putting charging stations
Up front.
By the
Up
solar,
front.
by the solar that they would handle.
Okay, great. No, that was good answer. Okay.
But you're right, electric is an issue.
Right, well, yeah, so that's why.
It affects all of us.
When we saw that. I'll refrain for now.
Yes?
Yeah,
Name and lot number, please.
Carlos Ramos, lot 426 and 425. The land that we acquired here,
Yes.
what's the status of that now? What's happening? Anything?
The only thing that is, I thought we reported at the last meeting, I may be mistaken, but that we're waiting for Edison to bring 3-phase electric to our post right at the corner of that property. It's costing like $880,000, which our solar company is paying for,
We
not
don't.
us. And then once they have to have it in by the end of this winter. That's when their time is up. They told us first it was going to be in this summer. Well, they didn't, they had other things they wanted to do and we didn't get done. But they have to have it in by this winter to be
By the end of
in
winter.
line with everything. And the solar company is just waiting for that to go in so that they can start. So it's still looking by the end of summer next year, the solar should be up and running. So they're still
Edison.
going ahead, but it all depends on Edison.
And I think maybe to simplify the answer,
Yeah.
you're talking the entire parcel of land.
Right.
That's 27 acres. Roughly 5 acres is going to be used for solar. The other is going to remain undeveloped until we determine as an association what we want to do with that land. It's just a buffer right now to whatever they decide to do next door. We're maintaining it, we're mowing it. I've cut trails, walking trails for the horse people or lot owners who want to walk their dog. There's trails that kind of meander through. It's actually a really nice piece of land if you walk back there and take a walk.
It's a nice walk, it really is.
Yeah, it is.
It is open for walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, if you go by our maintenance garage and you kind of look between the dumpster and let's say the first trailer, like horse trailer, you'll see there's 2 big boulders kind of sitting there and an opening of the berm. That is where the trail kind of starts, and then you can just follow it. And I'm in the process of mowing probably the last remaining 8 acres of 5-foot tall grass, but we're doing it with a 5-foot deck, so.
And that pole barn that's being built out there is not ours. So the people that I keep hearing, why are we building barns and we didn't get approved, that's not our barn.
But it's a nice barn.
It's
We
the
might
next
move that
parcel
on our
over.
property.
All right, thank you.
This man had been waiting.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dan Charleston. I am in lot 1410. First off, I want to thank you, Brian, and the rest of the board. Brian in particular, though, it sounds like you're doing a lot of work on it.
He's done a
In terms
lot.
of being technology forward, because that's going to help the park and everybody here immensely. I realize that there are difficulties, especially for folks, 70 plus or 80 plus that are dealing with that. And I appreciate as well, again, that the ladies are gonna be there to help those folks. And Terry, your advice about talking to your grandkids is absolutely spot on. I really only have two sort of comments. One is, Terry appreciated your disclosure about the 6 lots that were purchased, 3 that have been subsequently sold. I'm not entirely sure why, you didn't mention why the board decided as a matter of policy not to purchase future lots, because it's a big park, and occasionally there are just lots that go into wild disrepair, and for other reasons, estates or other things may want to dispose of those lots, and otherwise just, have difficulty doing so. So you didn't talk about.
Let me answer that for you right
Sure.
now. It's against the law.
Good.
And that's the main reason. A board cannot buy and sell property in the condo association without 2/3 of the membership voting for it.
Each time.
We were under the impression that we could get, proxy votes for 20%, and that was wrong. So we found out through our attorney that we can't do it that way. So we have to get, and to try to get 2/3 of the whole park
On
to
each
vote,
vote.
to buy 1 lot or 2 lots, it just can't do it, yeah.
Real estate's gonna take it.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, is our council the same council we've been using for any number of years, or have we changed councils recently?
We changed council 2.5 years ago,
Thank God, too.
who is a condo association attorney. This is his main thing that
What
he
he
does,
does.
and he's very good
Very
at it.
good.
I personally call him a lot, they don't, his retainer fee covers. I've never worked.
Yeah,
with
well,
him.
having worked on board and other things, I know that calling attorneys, unless you have an agreement where the retainer covers, those half-hour phone calls for
Yeah.
free, that can get wildly expensive, so.
Yes.
He takes care of us.
Yeah.
For the.
On the other comment, and it's a comment, for consideration by the board, and I understand, first the question. Of the increased amount in the annuals to the lots, and you mentioned that a portion of that is gonna be used to rebuild reserves, which, by the way, I'm disappointed to hear that the reserve balances are as low as they are, because my recollection of looking at the financial statements, in particular the balance sheet, they reflected reserves that were much higher than Jim, what you mentioned. And so I'm sure that there were drawdowns on those for different projects and other things that happened there, but it's just disappointing to hear that they're that low. But, back to my question, which is, basically, how much, as an example, my lot, I think, is going from 18, I think, my last year was like 1,800, because that put me in.
Category 6, that's what I was.
1,800?
For
Okay.
category 6?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, and it's gonna be what, 29? So, of that increase, right, and so, I would assume that 1,800 sort of covers operational costs. And even if I add 10% for inflation and other crap, that's sort of around $2,000. Is the 900 the portion that's gonna be allocated towards refunding the reserves?
I don't.
You're gonna have.
I understand 100% what you're
I
saying.
know what he's saying, but
And-
my concern is the whole way the percentages of the categories work out, I don't know.
Yeah, the categories is crazy.
It's the category.
It hurts us on the percentage part,
So
because,
we'll go to bigger numbers then. What was the total budget last year? Never mind this year, you're coming to 3.6 this year. last year was 2.1.
2.4, I think.
No, yeah, about 2.1.
Yeah, 2.2.
2.1, 2.2, so that's 1.4 million. So if I go 2.2 and I grow that by 10%, right? That's I'll round it up to 2.5 million. Are we basically funding reserves from 2.5 up to 3.6? That's $1.1 million. Are we using $1.1 million to refund reserves?
No.
No.
No,
You got a
About half of that, about half of that.
Half of it,
not this year.
roundabout.
Not this year.
So, so again, I'm gonna start with this past year's budget was, call it 2.2, right? Operating costs.
Roundabout.
So again, if I grow that by 10%, call it 2.5 million. But you're levying, you know, for lack of a better word, you're levying 3.6. So the difference, you know, if I cover 2.5 million in operational costs, or are you telling me that operational costs are blowing up beyond that? Because, and I'll take as an example, I will take the bridge out of the conversation for a second, right?
About
Let's
a
take
half
that out
million.
of the conversation. And I don't know what other capital projects are built into this 3.6. Well, take the capital projects out. Theoretically, that million plus is basically reserves, and then you're gonna use that reserves to fund the bridge and to fund some other capital, and then half of it's gonna be left effectively as reserves. Is that
I think that's
approximately
a pretty
correct?
good.
Yes, there's items that we're, like, one of the things we need, that we've talked about as a board, we need a repeater tower for the radios. We have severe dead spots throughout the park. Yeah, there's other infrastructure that's going in over and above this.
And so what that question is premised, right? My observation candidly is this. On the pool, you did a special assessment, right? There are, in my view, once you increase biannual to 2,900, it's never going backwards.
Right.
But at some point, our reserves will be fully funded, or close to,
Try, yes.
right? I personally, just expressing my own point of view, I would rather than impound all of the money that you're trying to rebuild in reserves, build some of it in and do a special to fund reserves. That's my own point of view. My only point of view. But you can allocate it to specific projects, right? You can identify it. And you could do it for instance, you could do it for the bridge. You could do it for the bridge, which is approximately the size of what the pools was.
A little more,
It's
actually.
$500,000.
We're hoping to probably the size of the pools.
So, that's my
Thank you.
observation. Again, thank
Thank
you
you.
all for doing the work you're doing. Brian, thank you for your work again on everything. Looking forward to seeing the solars. I agree with the lady about fees for large events, in particular the one large event we have. The one large event we have is Halloween.
I agree.
Thank you.
Okay.
Call the next one.
Good morning, Ray and Glenn Gonzalez, lots 897 and 898. Two questions, and one of them you semi-answered already. As far as the emails are concerned, what kind of safeguards or what would happen if there is any kind of breach of all of our information? You know, now we've got, 1,500 lots, and everybody's gonna be on this, and you could say that that's not gonna happen, it's becoming, a normal occurrence.
So, what I will say is, you're already there, and you've been there. Because all of your stuff is stored on QuickBooks, which is our accounting software, which is an online software. So, it's there already.
Okay?
And it has been. There's no way, QuickBooks is going away from desktop, they're going to online. It's there already.
Okay?
So, really, by putting this company in, it's almost putting I'm not a tech guy.
I'm not either.
Like another firewall?
Yeah, it's a firewall that company has.
Yeah,
in
so
place,
they're
and
protecting it,
responsible.
plus QuickBooks is protecting it. So,
Right.
it's kind of, building a double wall.
Two major companies will be protecting you. The condo management company, because that's in their computer, is what we're gonna be working on, not our computer. And then you got the QuickBooks, which QuickBooks is, they're constantly watching. Again, the Pentagon was hacked. There's nothing you can do. These guys, the guys that design the hacking are the same guys that design the
I
protection.
understand that, and that being said,
Here, he's an expert.
He's IT.
So, yeah, your data's, we don't have any data here anymore. It's either, Microsoft has it, QuickBooks has it, Condo Control has it. So those companies all hold the liability. If they are hacked, then, yeah, we're all hacked. And so they'll have to deal with it.
so the companies that we're dealing with, that we are in contract with, they will hold the liability because we are one of their customers.
Right.
Okay, so that being said, so if Woodsmoke Ranch got hacked and all of our information is out there, which is, but then the liability becomes then we have recourse, I guess what I'm asking.
Right, yes. Yeah, and like I said, we don't have any customer data in-house.
It's happened to us
Yeah.
twice already, and
Sure.
that's my next question. My second question is regarding and you semi-answered this, regarding the garbage and accessibility. So there is going to be, lower wall dumpsters, stuff for
For scrap, for metal, aluminum.
But I mean, okay, so like roof shingles, I mean,
Roof shingles, that's gonna stay the same, those go in the normal blue dumpsters that we have with, not Allied,
Republic,
Republic.
shingles.
Yeah.
but something like that, is there going to be accessibility? I mean, not all of us are, you don't want us climbing up on the dumpsters to throw shingles away.
We're gonna have to look into that.
We've looked into a low side
We might.
dumpster. The problem is then you increase your haul fees. Because if a dumpster can only hold twice as much, you're paying a truck to come out and empty it twice as often. So
I understand that.
Yes.
I understand
Yeah.
that you're trying to combat that, but there's a lot of us here that aren't spring chickens,
right. But
We
the
need to
problem,
And
you
you don't
designate a
want us
dumpster
to-
for
you don't want
shingles
us to
only,
find out
people are
about
gonna throw their
dumpsters.
trash.
No, what he's asking is about the younger folks getting the garbage from the ground level up over the 40-yard dumpsters.
Right.
So if we can get some
Well,
steps or
keep in
something.
mind too, and nobody seems to use them. The dumpster location over here and back here, not the one right out here, they have compactors. The door opens and you can talk, nobody ever.
Much
uses it.
shorter.
The door doesn't open easily. Just so
I'm
you know.
glad.
If you're gonna say, yeah,
For
just
the
so,
kids.
because I open it myself, I use that compactor. So yeah, if you're gonna refer to that, I would
I'll make a note
suggest
that we.
to check it out,
go out
put
there
a
and
different.
fix the doors on
There's the one kid's in there,
I
you
did
know,
not know
playing.
that, so thank you.
Yeah, no.
Also, thank you for the vote and spreading the installments over quarterly, because that makes a big difference.
Well, again,
We're affected
we all
by it
have the
too.
same
We got paid,
payments too, and all. If, we all benefit from that, I think. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Over here,
Me? Are you calling me?
Ellen Press, lot 1130. I'm gonna go slow, I'm not gonna make this boring, trust me. Fasten your seatbelts. Number one, when we acquired that land, I may have missed it, what did we pay for it?
280,000, I'm just going off the top of my head, I don't have those numbers in front of me.
What funds did we use, and did we mortgage the whole thing?
Yes,
Okay, so, and that was purchased when?
2 years ago.
at least,
2 years ago. I'm on the board 3.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, on February 23rd of 2022, Woodsmoke Ranch took out a loan for $179,300. Can you tell me what you mortgaged that for?
it was probably the land then, for 179,000?
$300, yes.
Yeah, we probably had a percentage we had to put down.
Oh, yeah, we did a down payment.
We
and then-
did a down payment, then we.
We don't
got
have
the
these
loan.
numbers
Yeah.
in front of us, so we're going by memory.
Okay, well, and that's fine.
That was the closing
No,
date.
it's pretty
So,
close.
My other question is, in October last year, it was in the minutes that you you apparently were talking about pool 1 and 2. Pool 1's leaks were fixed, and you were still working on pool 2. And then in November, you were signing a contract to repair the pools. How did you get from repairing the leaks in pool 1 to signing a pool contract for $300,000? How did you get from point A to point B? What determined that?
I don't think.
We,
Those notes then were wrong, because we started at pool 2, in-house.
Okay.
We started the repairs, and then we realized that they were much more expensive, and we knew there was a leak here, because the amount of water that was seeping down towards this dumpster area. At that time, we determined it was worth looking at, and the previous, before I got on, they had already gotten a price to do a pool, which was, I don't even remember what it was, but it was
500,000.
significantly more. What's
it
that?
was 200, it was plus 200,000 to fix pool 1,
Right.
Right.
just
Just pool.
to resurface it.
Right.
Just to
You know.
research, yeah.
Yeah.
No
So,
mechanical.
okay, so, where was I going with this? Was that
I don't know.
a dire emergency? Was it something that had to be done immediately?
The pools.
The
were
pools?
just repaired. The amount of leaks that we had, the amount of water we were losing, considering we're on our own well.
Because I didn't see anything in the minutes where it said it was a dire emergency, because if you read your condo rules, in order to pass a special assessment, you have to have 2/3 vote of the entire community. It's in the condo rules. And if it wasn't deemed in your minutes that it was an emergency, then this special assessment that you have for everyone is not a legal assessment. It's already done, but that wasn't the right way to do it. And also, I want to let everybody know, there's mechanic liens on every piece of property that Woodsmoke owns. They may not be able to talk about it, but I can. It's not in litigation yet. I have a copy of the pool contract. That came in at $269,938. Because of the weather, they locked the pool company out. It wasn't the pool company that breached the contract. Woodsmoke Ranch breached the contract.
Okay.
And they still owe them somewhere under $75,000.
And you're wrong on the pin on the lien, because I pulled the paperwork too.
I have all the pins right here.
Well, that's one thing.
One mechanic's lien was filed.
Okay,
Yes.
All right.
okay,
All right.
so we
First
cannot,
of all,
we
there
cannot
is
make
no-
any, we cannot make any comments on that, that's litigation.
I know you can't, but like I said, I can't.
Okay.
And
But
that's-
all things should be addressed to the board. There isn't to be comments made back and
Okay, well
forth.
then I'll address it to you, that's what's happening. And there will be paperwork on foreclosures for these pins if they're not paid. You locked them out, you kept their equipment, you kept
Whose
their,
side are
you
you
kept
on?
all their
Yeah,
stuff.
whose side are you on?
Again,
No
again,
comment.
Okay.
no.
Let's hold up, let's hold up. Ms. Cribbs, you can contact the attorney. His name is Michael, okay? He will explain it to you, and he'll tell you what's going on with it. We cannot make any comments, I'm sorry. I'd like to give you the facts, but I cannot do that because it's under litigation, okay?
Well, and that's fair, the facts that I have will stand up in court.
Well,
Well, I'm sorry.
that's why we have an attorney.
That's why we have our attorney.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they're gonna raise, you think the assessments are raised now? They're gonna make it so bad for you, you won't be able to sell your property. They're gonna lock you out of this park. They're gonna.
Thank
You're
you.
directing your
Thank you,
comments
you're
to
done now.
us.
Thank you, you're done.
Yeah.
Are you an owner?
Yes, she is.
Thank you, you're done.
Yes. Name and lot number, please.
Nadia Miller, lot 320. I do have a question. During the pandemic, and I don't know if you're at liberty to answer me, did Woodsmoke Ranch apply for and receive a PPP loan?
Yes, we did.
And in what amount did we receive it?
I don't remember the exact
90,000.
number.
I think 100?
90,000, I think.
90,000? I don't know, I can't remember offhand, but I think it was
Precise
around
number, but it's in
90,000.
that neighborhood.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes,
Hello, my name is Bonnie Boland. This is
July 3rd, July 4th incident. It was accused of vandalizing, taking people's landscape lighting. I just wanted to come to this meeting today because we were advised that you guys will be voting at this board meeting, so I'm not sure if that would be after this or if we would be able to speak with you. But I wanted to ask the board and let everyone know that we were absolutely mortified over this event. Mortified over the Facebook post from Woodsmoke on Facebook. And then all the owners' really nasty, hurtful comments about the parents, how terrible the parents are. These kids need to be, all the way, as adults, all these things. And the reason why it was very hurtful to me is because since my son said, it wasn't us, Dad, told Woodsmoke, it wasn't us. And they said, okay, well, we're gonna call the police then, since you're not admitting to this. They called the police came to our trailer, and everyone knows Gary's old trailer. So then all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, yeah, it was Gary's old trailer. What kind of parents? It was really, really stressful time for our household. We love the community. We have been members here, owners here for 30 years. We just purchased lot 115 almost 3 years ago, but prior to that, we were at lot 1171 for over 26, 27 years when they had gravel roads and we were at the brown jackets with the orange letters. We have been lot owners for a long, long time. And I want to move forward. I just wanted to give my introduction on that. We were absolutely mortified over, for one, like, oh my God, what happened? What did you guys do? We were absolutely mortified over that. My son said he didn't do it. They called the police. The police took the investigation, all their information. I spoken with the police. His friends spoken with their parents spoke with the police as well. They came back to us a couple weeks later and said, I wanted to let you know we are done with our investigation. And we do not believe that it was your son or his friends that committed this. And I said, okay, can you please let me know what did your investigation comprise of? What does that mean? Because this happened in the middle of the night. We went to the Grundy County Fair, and I want you all to know this. And after the Grundy County Fair, I went home with my daughters, because they sit on the phone all day anyway. And the next day we were planning on leaving. So my husband came back with my son and his friends to the trailer after the Grundy County Fair. And they had lights out by midnight. The next morning, my son had to drive his friend home to go to work. So they went to the showers and took a shower, and they were by security saying, hey, we believe this was you guys, where do you live, or where's your trailer? They went over there and spoke with my husband. My husband was still sleeping at 6 o'clock in the morning, had no idea what's going on. So my husband looks at the video, and I'm just giving you the story, my story. Looks at the video, and my son is like, that wasn't us, Dad, that wasn't us. My husband's like, well, that's not that. So the police came, and then all these terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't wish this on any of you guys to witness the hate from your neighbors, from your community members. I don't wish that on anyone. It's been horrible for us as a family, regardless of what teenagers did or did not do. Moving forward, the police called us and they told us, we don't believe it's your kids. Okay, please tell me, what did your investigation entail? They said, we reviewed the video footage provided by Woodsmoke Ranch against our body cams and against each of those kids' social media profiles that are public. And after review, we do not believe those are pictures, those are videos, that's their body cam, and that's Woodsmoke's footage that they called and provided to them. We do not believe, based on our investigation, that it was your kids and his friends. I said, okay, thank you. So we figured this situation was over, even though we were still mortified because we're involved. We're involved in all this hate that we're receiving from everybody. Even if they did or did not do it, it was hurtful, very hurtful. On our marriage, on our home, coming security drives by within 5 minutes, 10 minutes of us being here. People drive by and they're like, they're next to turn, like, oh, they're there. We are not terrible people. We are you. We are all humans and we are owners. We don't condone this. We are not terrible parents. We can't help if a child does not sneak off. People get their dogs off a leash. People are so upset about all these things. We cannot control everything, and just because something happens, that doesn't mean we condone it or are proud of it. And I am here today to let you know that this is us. This is what we've been going through. I would appreciate it, because we have not had anything on our record prior to this in all these years. I would appreciate it hearing from Woodsmoke directly, and I did not. We thought the matter was over, and then all of a sudden we got a letter from their lawyer, which was, again, compounded hurt. That was hurtful. I would have loved to spoken with you guys. Hey, well, we still think it was you guys because of this and that. Okay, well, I'm sorry, the police of this, but okay, I get it. I would have loved to work that out personally instead of receiving a letter from the lawyer. I don't think that's appropriate, and that compounded the hurt that we received. I'm here today to ask to remove the ban from, we received a letter, this is going to be fines and fees, to put it behind us, we agreed to the fines and fees. But the ban of my family member, my minor, is not okay. We are owners, we pay just as much as everyone else. There's lots of things that happen here. And I've read the Declaration, I've read the rules and regulations, I've read the Illinois Association Condo Committee on Maps. There is nothing in any of those documents that read specifically that you can ban a family member or their guests. It says we have the right to use our property and the common elements because we are owners, us and our guests. And we are asking the board, and we apologize just for any thoughts or hurt that we may or may not have caused. We love Woodsmoke Ranch, and we've been hurt by this. We would like to deal with this appropriately. If you guys believe this is true, we are sorry. But as far as I know, my son said no. The investigation, they said no. And I'm here to ask the board to please remove that ban from my family members and guests. Thank you.
Okay,
Take a
we
motion.
can't, again, this has gone to the attorney, and he is setting up a Zoom meeting. I thought it was on your request that he is going to be doing that. We have to get enough board members together to hear this. It doesn't happen at these meetings. It has to be a special meeting for that, to do that. And we're going to be following up with that because it has already gone that far. So we will be contacting you. This has been a terrible time for us. We don't like going ahead with this kind of things either, but this isn't the place where we can comment on it, okay?
I was
So,
told by your lawyer that you guys would be voting at this meeting, so I thought it would be.
yeah, he didn't realize,
So
he didn't realize our budget was the big part of this meeting, and we really haven't been working on anything else, so.
we didn't know, so we just wanted to come here
And that's quite all right. We gave you the full thing, so.
No, it's fine.
Okay, all right, thank you, though.
Thank you.
Last one.
Ken Bryce on 635. Okay, now with the pools and the repairs and everything, that special assessment that everybody got, is that paid off the loan on that?
Not everybody's paid it.
Or is it significantly paid off?
I think we've got over 2/3 of it in.
It's probably
It's, well, is it paid off? No, because we're holding money for
it's
the law,
litigation, Kirk.
as far as, what the contractor thinks he has coming and what we think we're going to be paying that, so, but it,
Is your loan paid off?
no.
No.
No, because the money, if the money doesn't come in, we can't pay the loan off.
We're still collecting.
Well, it should be mostly paid off then.
What we've been able to pay on it has been paid off, yes.
Okay, now the second thing, now, you know, on Facebook, once this budget gets mailed to everybody, they're gonna go nuts on Facebook, and it's gonna be kind of interesting and funny to watch. And, but some of these people here don't realize that what you're paying here in assessments and dues, and whatever you wanna call them, and everything, is significantly less than anybody else is paying anywhere. Then you throw in electric bill, which is, nobody here knows it, but it's about $800 a year for electric bill for one of these things.
Yeah.
If you're here regularly, it's about $800 a year, maybe more, because me and Chris were in different camps before we came here. So we know what the bills are and stuff, so you still got it good. And I was an iron worker for 37 years, so I know what that bridge is. Every time you drive over it, the whole thing sinks. And it's gonna be a lot of money to fix it. To do it right, it's gonna take a lot of money.
Yep.
It is.
Right. And, it's, kinda like, cause this is way lower than any place else, isn't it?
It is.
And then when you throw in the electric bill, it's significantly less.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
One quick one, and then we're gonna, because I gotta go,
Okay, ready to go. So back in one of the meetings, I know it was before summer, where you talked about the pool guard contract of $78,000. With the pool two being closed part of the summer, do we get any of that money back?
we're still in negotiations with her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair.
Making a motion to go back into closed session, please.
All right, motion
Second.
made and seconded.
Second.
Thank you all for showing